Here is another story from ancient Rome where ambition, duty, and betrayal are intertwined. The Eagle's Shadow. Lucius Valerius Aquila, commander of the 9th Legion of Hispania, was returning to Rome after 10 years of fighting on the northern borders of Britain. The dust of the long journey and countless wounds had hardened his sunburned face and sharpened his eyes. He had come to the capital of the world, hoping to hold a triumph, the greatest honor for a Roman general, and to see Cassia again, the woman whose heart he had left in Rome. But the Rome he had left no longer existed. The great emperor Trajan had died, and now his adopted son, Hadrian, had ascended the throne. An emperor more interested in consolidating borders and architecture than in new conquests. The Senate, once the beating heart of the Republic, had become a forum for flattery and secret intrigue. On his first day in Rome, Lucius went to the Senate. The senators, dressed in white robes and purple fringes, greeted him with mock respect. But in their glances, Lucius saw nothing but envy and suspicion. He was a man of war, accustomed to the brutal honesty of the battlefield, and foreign to the cunning language of politics. His main rival was Senator Gaius Fulvius Macer, a thin man with a cold smile and calculating eyes. Macer had never wielded a sword on the battlefield, but in the corridors of the Senate, he was a master of verbal battles and invisible daggers. He had made his fortune through government contracts and bribery, and he saw Lucius, with his fame and popularity among the people and the army, as a threat to his power. That night, Lucius secretly visited Cassia, the daughter of Senator Cornelius. In a garden bathed in the scent of jasmine and moonlight, they were reunited after years. But the joy of the meeting was short-lived. Cassia told him with sad eyes, "My father has married me to Gaius Macer. It is a political alliance to preserve our family's position. He is powerful, Lucius. He is dangerous." Lucius's world collapsed. The woman he had fought for had been promised to his enemy. In the following days, Macer began his attacks. In the Senate, he questioned Lucius's campaign spending and accused him of wasting public funds. Rumors spread through the city that Lucius was planning to seize power by exploiting the loyalty of his legion. Lucius's request for a triumph was postponed on various pretexts. The proud eagle of the 9th Legion was caught in the web of Roman politics. One night, Macer invited Lucius to his luxurious villa. As slaves poured expensive wine into silver goblets, Macer said with his same cold smile, "General, Rome no longer needs war heroes. It needs administrators and diplomats. I can dispel all these accusations. I can guarantee you a rich governorship in Egypt, somewhere far from here, with honor and wealth." "And what is the price?" asked Lucius. Macer slowly set his goblet down on the table. "Forget Cassia. Say goodbye to your ambitions and let me govern Rome as I see fit." It was a clear insult. Macer had targeted not only his love, but also his dignitas. Lucius could accept the deal, be exiled to a life of luxury but emptiness, or stay and fight, not with the sword, but with words and principles. The next day, the Senate met for the final examination of the charges against Lucius. In a fiery and calculated speech, Macer presented Lucius as an ambitious traitor disguised as a hero. Many senators, out of fear or for gain, nodded in agreement. When it was Lucius' turn, everyone expected an angry defense. But he rose slowly. His gleaming armor was hidden under his senatorial robes, but the firmness of a commander was in his voice. He did not speak of politics, nor of money. He spoke of the relentless cold of Hadrian's Wall, of men who died in the snow and blizzard, far from home, so that the citizens of Rome could sleep in peace. He spoke of loyalty, duty, and honor. He spoke of a Rome in which a man's worth was measured by the wounds he bore in defense of the empire, not by the weight of his purse of coins. Then he turned to Macer and said in a loud voice, "You speak of numbers, Senator Macer. I speak of blood and sacrifice. You worry about the treasury. I worry about the soul of Rome. Which is more precious?" A heavy silence fell over the assembly. Lucius had struck at the heart of their pretension and corruption. He had reminded them of what it had once meant to be Roman. At that moment, Senator Cornelius, Cassia's father, who had been silent until then, rose to his feet. "I will give my daughter to a man who knows the value of Rome, not to a man who has put it up for sale," he said in a trembling but firm voice. This gesture broke the ice. Several other old and veteran senators rose to support Lucius. The conspiracy of the Macer collapsed before the simple truth of a soldier's honor. At the end of that day, the Senate not only cleared Lucius of all charges, but also agreed to give him the most magnificent triumph. A few weeks later, Lucius Valerius Aquila rode through the crowded streets of Rome in his triumphal chariot. Behind him, the spoils of war and his loyal soldiers moved, but he did not look at the gold and the adulation of the people. His eyes were fixed on a special place where Cassia looked at him with a radiant smile. Lucius learned that day that the greatest battle of his life had been fought not on the misty plains of Britain, but in the marble heart of Rome. And he had won that battle too, not with the eagle of his legion, but with the shadow of that eagle, a symbol of honor and duty, soaring above the intrigues of petty politicians.